Alright, now moving on to analyze and summarize. This is probably one of the most important kind of lessons and modules that there will be, because formulas can be applied on a day-to-day basis on so many different occasions. So I want to start with a couple of things. Number one, I want to fill in exercise 4.1, I want to fill this table here. So all I want to do is I want to count the unique set of products. So I will type the function unique. I will then select the column C, and then we'll select the range between C5 and C4, press enter, and there you go. There you have it. So a complete set of unique values, of unique names, which again are represented in respect to the product. Now let's actually do the SUMIFS, which is we want to sum. We really want to sum the amounts of our sales. So we're going to select the same range. And once again, please remember to use this green rectangular here, which is a help box from Google. Again, let's talk about the sum range, criteria range, and the criterion. So the sum range, where there are our amounts, and our amounts are here between the column F, between the range of rows of F5 and F104. And then all I want to do right now is I want to complete the absolute reference this. And then criteria range, we know that the products are in the column C. I want to click Control Shift down, F4. Again, once again, I'm going to lock this. And then what I will do, my criteria is then I will want all the kind of the sum of that range. I want to match my criteria with the camera. And this is where I don't need to lock anything, but for the good practice, I'm going to actually lock the cell. So by this, what I mean is that I'm going to lock the column. You can see I've put the $sign ahead of the letter H, which corresponds to the column. Press enter, and there you go. This is our sum. So all we need to do right now, if I'll do double click here, you'll see that our sums, and the key part is, you recall, if we want to check if the formula is correct, we want to make sure that we want to check kind of against the last value of our formula. So smartwatch and SUMIFS. I mean, the key part, if you would not be able to lock these ranges for the sum range and criteria range, as you're going to drag it down, it will move down as well. So that's how it's very important to make sure you do have an absolute reference for those. Let's do some COUNTIFS. Let's count how many times specific product have been sold. Again, criteria range. And this is going to be very simple. So we're going to do control. We're going to select the, again, column C, Control Shift down, F4. Then our criterion, we're going to have camera. Again, 1, 2, 3. We're going to have the reference in respect to the column H. Press enter. There you go. And then all I need to do is, once again, I'll double click on this you see on the circle here, and then it will auto populate. I want to check the last one to make sure everything is correct, and it is correct. So now it's very simple to do the average. You can see, we can already see the average, the way it's done. So I can actually, so the average here, the formula, it's not going to work because we want to have values. It's not what we want. So all we want is actually the total divided by the count, by the quantity. There we go. That is our average. So once again, I'll double click on the circle. But there is another very useful function, and this is AVERAGEIFS formula function. So average range, criteria range, and the criterion. It's very similar to the SUMIFS, and hence my average range This is a numerical value, which means we are going to the column F, F5, Control Shift down, F4. I have an absolute reference to this to make sure if when I drag it down, this column does not move. Then criteria range is going to be column C, Control Shift down. Once again, I'm going to have an absolute reference, going to go up, and then camera, and then I will do once again, I will lock the column H, make sure we are doing our best practice, and then I'm going to press enter. And there we go. You see the number values are matching. When I press on the blue dot, on the blue circle, it auto-populates. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna actually do the following because it kind of moved to the column M, which we don't want to. So essentially, you can have two ways to calculate an average, either by the division between the total amount by the quantity, versus you can actually use the AVERAGEIFS, and it's going to save you some time, and it's also quite a useful formula to have in your arsenal of Google Sheets. So in the next one, let's go through the max, min, count, COUNTIFS.